Today in our 2005 Chevrolet Avalanche, we're going to take a look at and show you how to install the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit, part number RM-88400. Now here's what our relay kit's going to look like when we lay it out of our package. Our relay is designed to stop the brake signal coming from your towed vehicle from going to the bulb in the back when the ignition is off. That allows for our RV's blinker to blink through the lights on the back of the truck and indicate any turns that we're going to be making. Without a brake light relay, when you hit the brakes in your motorhome and you have your blinker on, it overrides it and that blinking is going to stop and you're just going to have that brake light come through, which isn't legal and also unsafe. This is going to be our solution for that. Very straightforward, simple installation here. What we've got is a brake light relay. So this is going to separate that signal. Our red wire powers the relay. This is going to go to an ignition source in the vehicle. So as soon as we turn the key on, this is going to activate and our brakes are going to work as they should. The white wire is going to go to a ground source and we're going to feed the power in from our brake light switch. That's a switch underneath the dashboard and we're just going to put this directly in line on it. In the Avalanche application, we'll be using the green wire. So as the power comes in from our brake light switch on our vehicle, when the ignition is off, it's going to be stopped right here in our relay. As soon as we turn the key on, it's going to continue to feed it out of the black wire, sending the signal back to our bulb. The blue wire is only for use in a push button start type vehicle, so we're going to eliminate that completely just by snipping it off. They're also going to give us a hardware kit that's going to take care of all the connections that we'll need to make. We've got our fuse holder here, so the system will be fuse protected. We've got the butt connectors that we're going to need to make our connections on our line. We've got our ring terminal that's going to be used to ground it out. We've even got a fuse tap here so we can go to one of the fuses inside the vehicle that's ignition only, tap right into it, so we won't have to worry about cutting any wires in the vehicle with the exception of the cold side of the brake light switch. We're also going to have the instructions to explain to us exactly how to get it done. To start, like we said, we're going to be removing the blue wire just by snipping it off. Now we'll head in underneath the dashboard and get it installed. Right now, our brake light relay wires and that, they're going to be up here behind the dashboard. All right, now looking underneath the dashboard, we can see our brake pedal. It's going to come up here, makes a slight angle, and it goes into this longer bracket. If we follow our bracket up, right in between this larger brace and that bracket, we're going to have a plug. This is just a flat black plug right here. Got several wires that run into it. We're going to test it and make sure we're using the right wire. Our sources indicate that it should be the white wire, but we're always going to test and make sure. So we'll use our test light, go to a good ground source, and we'll just test the back of that wire. And we'll want to see when we hit our brake pedal that we're getting the signal. All right, so the white wire is the one we're going to need to get into right here. Now what we're going to do is take back this little bit of loom here. It's going to open our wires up slightly so we can work with them, kind of spread them out a bit. Now be sure as you do this so you don't go all the way through and actually cut the wire. You just want to go through the tape itself. Now let's snip the cold side of that brake light switch. Just like that. We'll need to get both sides of that stripped back. All right, now the side that's closest to the bulb, or the side furthest away from the switch, we're going to add a blue butt connector to. And now one thing to keep in mind when wiring this up is if your braking system has a monitor light that requires you to tap into the cold side of the brake light switch, we need to do that on the switch side so it gets power. If we do it on the other side of the relay, when the ignition's off, it's not going to work. So this needs to go to the pre or the upstream side. Now in this application, since we are installing our relay to deactivate the brake lights when it's in tow mode, We need to get our monitor wire here attached to the upstream side, or we need to attach it to the switch side of that relay. So we need to connect it to our brake light switch side of the relay and not to the bulb side. Now the good news is we can put this in either side of the butt connector that we want. We're going to go to the factory wire side since it's a little bit smaller. You'll see how our connection works. Both wires going into one side of our butt connector there. It's going to give us a splice where we can pick up the cold side of that brake light switch. And now we can connect our green wire to the brake light switch side. So that's going to be our yellow butt connector. Now we can do the same thing for our black wire, get it connected, although we want to go this time to the side closest to the brake light bulb, or the side that's not connected to our switch. Now the white wire will add our ring terminal to. We need to get that grounded out with a self-tapping screw. You can see our bracket right here. It's going to give us a good connection point for our ground. We'll start by getting our hole drilled first. Of course, check behind to make sure there's nothing there that we might damage, like other wires or any hoses or anything like that. Place our ring terminal on, place that in, and then secure it down. We'll just want to be sure it's secure enough to where when we try to wiggle that ring terminal, we won't be able to. All right. Last thing we have to do is provide power to it. Now here we're going to be adding in one of our own blue butt connectors, and we'll extend it with the short red piece of wire that came with the kit. We're going to run it right over there to the outside of the dash panel. Now I'm going to mount my relay right above this wire loom. That way it'll give it some support. We'll have something to zip tie off to. So we'll get that done now so we know exactly how much length of red wire we have, just to ensure we have enough. Now we're going to extend the red wire coming off the relay with the red wire that we've got in our kit. We will want to save about 3 or 4 inches of it though, so we can put that on the other side of our fuse holder. Now we're going to run it right up in this area. There's a small pocket right behind the parking brake area. We'll go right above that, and we're going to go over towards the driver's side of our car. And we'll look behind the cover we have over here, and we should be able to find it down there, get a hold of it, and pull it through. So we've got our panel here. We'll pop off. Red wire's down inside. Just make sure it's running in a clear area. No sharp edges or anything else really that might cause damage to our wire. Take our short piece here, and we're going to strip both ends of that back. One side will go to our fuse holder. We are going to pop that fuse out. It's going to go in, and it'll be crimped right in that narrowest area. Now on the other side there, we're going to add on the red spade connector. It also comes with the kit. And the red wire coming from our relay, we need to strip that back and add the other side of our fuse holder. You see our fuse block located right in here behind it. We need to find one of the fuses that only has power when the ignition's on. So we'll start with our ignition off. We'll just start here at the top. Now with the ignition in the on position, you'll see all 3 of those are going to have power. So that's an ignition power source. Let's see what those are. So we'll go with that first 10 amp fuse that we've got in the second row down there. Kind of tight to get your fingers in there, but you'll have a fuse puller, and if that's still not in the car, you can just use needle nose, gently pull it out. So our fuse tap, it's going to have that little tab sticking off of it. That we want facing up. So we'll slide the leg of that fuse right up through there. Once that's down on there, you'll see it'll just kind of clip around the back side of the fuse, and that's ready to go right back in. Once that's in place, that spade connector is going to slide right over it. We can replace our fuse. Now it's a good time to go through and tidy up all of our wiring, and we'll test it out and make sure it's working properly. Zip tie that off right there to that loom. That way it'll be easy to get to if there's ever any failure in the system. Pop our cover back in place. We can tidy up our wires underneath our dash. Now to test out and make sure our relay is working properly, we'll turn the keys on in our vehicle. We're gonna hit our brake. See our lights come on, everything's fine there. But as soon as we turn the key off, we want those to go off. Key on and key off. So our relay is doing its job. We're not gonna have to worry about the vehicle overriding the motorhome signal. With everything working properly, that's gonna complete our installation of the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit, part number RM-88400 on our 2005 Chevrolet Avalanche.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.